Andy Mooney, the CEO of Fender, has stated
90% of first-time players abandon the instrument in the first year, if not the first 90 days.
Why does this happen, and how can you avoid the traps of quitting guitar? From my experience from teaching for 15 years, I have 5 common reasons why people quit, which hopefully will back up Andy Mooney's statement. So let's get on with it before you quit this video. Firstly, let's consider eating pizza. A pizza has all the ingredients that a beginner needs in order to play their first song. The question is, would you attempt to devour a whole pizza in one gigantic bite? Or would you opt to slice it up, savouring each bite one slice at a time? Unfortunately, many beginners are overwhelmed by the volume of info that's out there, and they think they have to swallow everything up in one go, which can only lead to frustration and just to give up. No way I can do all this. To stop this, I would enjoy the process and just take one bite-sized bit of information and savor it and enjoy it. Then move on when you're ready. And this will definitely help you not get overwhelmed by all the info and just focus on little bits at a time. The next point pains me to hear that a lot of newcomers watch guitar shredders on the scroll with jaw-dropping ability and think, ah, that's pretty cool, I'll give that a go. Shouldn't take too long to get to that level, should it? They then turn to YouTube to learn guitar. Then they are faced with titles that have just backed up what they thought. This shouldn't take too long at all. And then you sit down and give it a try. The sounds you're producing sound nothing like what you heard on those Instagram reels. It all sounds a bit mediocre. But we need to be clear about our expectations. Even to get to beginner level, where you need to build the required skills to play some basic songs, you will need to have spent on average between 100 to 500 practice hours. That's 10 minutes every day for 600 days. Well, that's longer than I thought. They are the hard facts. But we just need to apply a different mindset and get rid of any unrealistic expectations. The good news is I've noticed guitar players who are gentle themselves tend to improve a lot faster, they have more fun, and they are the ones that keep playing for years. Just realise it does take time, and at some point your fingers are gonna hurt. Your brain's telling your fingers to do one thing, but they're doing something completely different. A bit like my kids. Just need to embrace the love of learning, improving daily, and enjoying the process. So this segues nicely into point number 3. Let's imagine someone wants to improve their physique and they want bigger muscles. They head to the gym, but the selection of weights are massive and heavy. The individual struggles to lift them, with each repetition causing strain and discomfort. This could just lead to massive frustration, injury, and then you just want to give up because you're not seeing any of those results. So how does this relate to learning guitar, and how can we grow those guns before we quit? So you need to find a balance of difficulty. Anything too hard, you're just going to want to quit, and anything too easy, you're just going to be boring as you're not getting challenged enough and you won't see any progress. Next reason, I studied at a music college in the UK called ACM. So while it was a great experience and gave me the ability to teach and broaden my musical knowledge, it was a huge part of the curriculum that I just wanted to quit the guitar. For the final exam, I had to memorize and play every flipping scale, chord in every position, in every single key. And trust me, this was the most boringest thing I've ever had to do. It felt like I wasn't playing music, I was just this robot, just playing loads of different exercises. So really I could have quit, but I decided to push through because I was paying a lot of money just to get that bit of paper at the end. And unfortunately, I see a lot of newcomers doing the same thing. So they may be unsure what to practice, so they go and search, what should a beginner guitarist practice? And a list like this comes up. I think, okay, let's get to work. They get the resources, then they quickly realize music and learning guitar is so boring. And then they get on with something else, like origami. Guitar really doesn't have to be boring. Yes, there is a lot of repetition, and I did a video on about how to make practicing more fun, which I'll put in the description. But if you continue to be inspired, eat, sleep, and drink guitar and music and learning songs that you love, you'll never be bored. And this brings me on to the next point, and no matter what your ability, what level you're at, you'd always have a voice in the back of your head that will say,
"You absolutely suck. What's the point? Just quit, man. You'll never get it."
As humans, we naturally just compare ourselves to one another. And with social media, unfortunately, there's a lot of self-doubt going on. However, what we don't see behind the curtain is all the hard work, all the practice, all the mistakes. We just see the finished product, and so many people get discouraged and then they don't even pick up their guitar. We all need to adopt the attitude of Finn and the wise words of Jack the dog from the kids program Adventure Time. In this episode, they are left to look after a shoe repairer's shop while the actual cobbler goes to the dermatologist. A customer walks in and asks for the shoes to be fixed. Rather than them saying they couldn't do it, Finn gives it a go.
Of course I'll help.
He didn't do what the customer said and she wasn't happy. The cobbler then came back and then kicked them out. And as they're walking home, Jack the dog says this punchline that we all need to remember.
Dude, sucking at something is the first step towards being sorta good at something.
So if you embrace sucking, know it takes time, and if you enjoy the journey with being mindful of the 5 reasons why people often quit, you'll be on the right track to get past that 1 year mark and hit those 100 hours, so we can tip over Andy Mooney's statistic of people quitting. However, in order to achieve this, you cannot ignore this next video where I talk about 5 habits that you can build into your busy life to make sure you stay consistent and ensure you're always on the right track.